Hey everybody, Matt McDonald, Balanced Jiu-Jitsu. We have Coach Double Gold here today demonstrating 7 hip escapes and where you can use them. Understanding how to move your hips can be useful for guard retention and escaping bad positions in Jiu-Jitsu. In this video, we're going to show you 7 different hip movements, and we're also going to show you where we would use them in particular situations in the roll. You should watch this video if you're new to Jiu-Jitsu or if you're thinking about starting Jiu-Jitsu. You should also watch this video if you're training Jiu-Jitsu and you have a hard time moving your hips. The first movement we're going to look at is this forward hip scooting motion. As we can see here, Logan will be using his hand to push his hips away, and he'll also be using his heel to pull his hips towards his heel. Here now we can see him working the same movement in reverse. So now he'll be pulling his hips towards his hand while he pushes with his heel to move them backwards. Here we can see him using this movement to help him with his guard retention, and also right here where he uses it for an arm drag, and then that helps him get the back position. The next movement we're going to be looking at next is the hip shovel. We'll show you a few different angles of this movement being performed, and then we'll get into some closer look at the details. Starting with a nice tight knee elbow connection, he turns his hip to get his toes alive on the mat so he can pull his hips towards them with a scooping motion facing his partner like we can see here. We'll take a look at a couple more angles and we'll see him finish in the single leg X position. Next we have the most commonly used hip movement in all of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that is your sliding shrimp movement. Here we see Double Gold turning on his side, bringing his heels back to his hips so he can move his hips back, and then we're going to see where he can use this here in the Toreando recovery, and also coming out of the bottom of the mount position, and then recovering his guard like we see here. This becomes a very useful tool when you're trying to escape the mount or side control positions. So here we see Double Gold bridging onto his shoulder, bringing his foot back so he can move his hips away, and here we can see him using it again to escape the mount. As we watch a few different angles of this mount escape using the power bridge, we're going to see on the other side here that he's going to connect a sliding hip escape right here to end the escape and finish in the guard. Here we have the same movement, escaping side control. The next movement we're going to look at is the half invert, and this movement can become really useful when you're trying to escape the technical mount, and in some cases when you're trying to escape the back position. Here we can see Double Gold turning on his side so he can get on his shoulder and get his hips off the floor, and here he is escaping the technical mount. So here's a variation of the same movement, only this time Double Gold will use his elbow, and that'll help him get his hips off the floor, and you'll see him use it here when Marcia's trying to attempt a knee slide on him and he recovers his guard. That concludes our video on 7 hip escapes and where to use them. If you found any value in this video, hit that like button and share it with a friend. As always, we appreciate that you stayed till the end, and we would appreciate it if you would comment. Comments help us come up with better content for you. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Now go train and train hard.